Hello there guys, welcome to Dino's World, and surprise surprise, this new year begins with a bang because Honda brings the party to us with their brand new compact SUV, the Honda Elevate. Now, have they made it well to elevate it above the rest of the class, or does it fall flat on its face? We're going to find out in this first drive review. Let's get started.
A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
So though late to the party, Honda have really made it count is what I feel. Especially the stance looks nice and imposing. Has a lot of chrome for all the chrome lovers. Has a nice and intimidating beefed up stance like that of a proper SUV, with the bonnet lines coming alive. Massive grille up front. You have LED lighting all around. You have LED projectors, LED fog lamps. Again, the front bumper is very neatly sculpted to give it a powerful persona from the front. Moving on to the profile, you can see flared wheel arches, body cladding all around, a typical SUV look from the side-on look, and then of course you have massive 17-inch wheels with diamond cut alloy wheels, which give it a nice profile look and a muscular stance, a proper SUV kind of a look from side on. And then of course you have chrome door handles, which add on to the premium feel, and roof rails which are neatly laid out, and of course the proper C-pillar that gives it a typical SUV kind of a look. And also it comes with best in class ground clearance of 220 mm, which gives you a carefree life without worrying about the bottom scraping every now and then. Coming on to the rear section, the SUV concept design comes full circle with a neatly integrated spoiler, LED tail lamp, again wraparound tail lamps, and a neatly laid out rear bumper. But more than that, this one not only is about pure driving pleasure, it's all about sheer practicality as well, because this gets a massive boot of 458 liters, which I believe is class leading. As you can see, you have lots of space. You can load up, fill it up to your heart's content, and still you'll have more space to play around with. And apart from that, you also have 60-40 split seats that can be folded flat completely to make way for more room. Moving on to the interiors, again nice plush leather seats with strong shoulder bolsters to hug you in. And one thing that goes missing here is no ventilated seats, but still comfort is maximized. You have nice well cushioned headrests as well. Moving on to the dash, what I love is the wooden finish and the leather touch on the dash. Kind of a three-tone kind of a layout. The floating infotainment system, 10.25 inch, looks neatly integrated. The hard plastic is one thing that they can do away with to add on to a premium feel. Again, this feels very, very flimsy, not at all up to the mark with the rest of the cabin integrity. I mean, rest of the quality is on another level, whereas this one really falls short of matching that kind of upmarket feel. Then you have the automatic climate control with neatly integrated buttons with a good tactile feel. Steering wheel seems straight out of the Honda City with all the volume and phone controls. And then of course the ADAS features as well, with adaptive cruise control and other buttons. Lane keep assist. This actually comes with ADAS level 2, and except for 360-degree camera, I think it comes with loaded features to take care of your safety of your loved ones. So not only are the seats very, very comfy, the door opening angle is nice and wide up front. So for the front passenger, it's easy to move in and out of the cabin. Now let's check how wide the door opens up at the back. It's not a 90-degree opening angle, but it is decent enough. Again, for you to step into the cabin. For elders, it might be a little bit of hassle, but for the regular plain Jane normal adults, I think it's more than sufficient. 4 adults and a kid at the back might be super comfy. And you also have dedicated headrests for 2 passengers at the back, with a central armrest and cup holders in the middle, and dedicated aircon vents for the rear seat passengers. And talk about leg room. My God, just look at this. I am around close to 5'7" and loads of leg room and decent amount of headroom. Maybe if you're above 6 feet, maybe you will be having a little bit of trouble. But for people up to 6 feet, it is perfect. But leg room is abundant, and good job in terms of space management inside the cabin by Honda. So now we have a 7-inch digital display for the MID here, because the tachometer is entirely digital, and here you can actually go through different parameters like the tachometer, the range, if you can want to see the range and the fuel left, the speed and time, average speed, and then the G meter, G force, the safety support, the settings, general settings, display, customizing the display the way you want it, and you have other features among as you can see, whatever you want to be displayed will be displayed accordingly. So this is the layout. You have tachometer, range and fuel, speed and time, G meter, safety support, general settings, and ability to customize the display as to which ones you want, which kind of settings you want to apply in the tachometer display. Or you can get into generalized settings and you can change the clock and vehicle settings, or you can go and check the range and fuel and the average speed and the distance to empty. So everything is well laid out here in the tachometer gauge, which is actually completely digital. Then you have 10.25 inch seamlessly laid out floating infotainment system with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Here you have the rest of the settings where you can customize the sound as per your preference, different equalizers, and here you have connectivity features and all the other features like lane watch, rear wide view camera. So here you can adjust the kind of guidelines you want to set up for the rear wide camera, and lane watch again you can set it up as per your preference as you want it to be laid out. So this is about the infotainment system and the MID on the Elevate. So you can see here that there is a dedicated button to turn on the lane watch feature. Just turn it on and you have the lane watch thing activated, or you can turn it off. The rear camera is always on to give you a view of who's tailing you, and then of course if you turn on the left indicator, the lane watch camera activates on its own. And if you have a look at the rear view camera, so when you put it into reverse, this is the display. One thing, the resolution could have been better. As you can see, it has a fisheye kind of an effect, and they could have utilized the full real estate on of a 10.25 inch hasn't been utilized to its fullest. So that is a thing that has gone missing. So if you want, as you can see, you have a wider view, you have a fish angle view, you can choose among the different state of view that you want, but still they could have used the entire real estate of the screen to give you a better clear display. And that's pretty much it in terms of utility features. As you can say, wireless charging works flawlessly, cup holders, cubby holders. Over here you have a glove box, which is not cooled glove box, but again bottle holders on all four doors to hold 1 liter bottles, and you have a sunroof as well. It is not a big sunroof, as Faisal says, it's a Chintu Mintu sunroof, so not many of you can fit in here until you are fit enough. And then of course, talking about the safety features, 6 airbags, electronic stability control, ADAS level 2, and you name it, this one has it, except for the 360-degree camera, which we are left wanting for in a car of this segment. I hope they will upgrade it in the future updates. Now talking about the star of the show, it's the tried and tested 1.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol i-VTEC engine that we've seen in the Honda City shine brighter than ever. And we have the same power plant here that puts out around 121 PS of max power and 145 Newton meters of max torque. We have 2 transmission options. We get the 6-speed manual, and for the auto lovers, you have the 7-speed CVT with seamless gear shifts. And how does it feel to drive? We're going to find out in my drive vlog. So without further ado, let's get going. So does the Elevate manage to elevate itself above the competition when it comes to sheer performance? You bet it does. I mean, this thing is such a lovely gem of an engine. oh, the sound is so pleasing to hear, man. I'm loving every moment of this. Absolutely loving every moment of this. Watch it go. You beauty. This thing is a screamer. An absolute screamer from Honda. No wonder people were going bonkers for the way it drives. Goodness gracious. What a car. What an engine. Impeccable. Incredible. These are the words I can come up with, man. Steering feel feels good. It's not too rubbery, and it does give you that heft, especially while doing speeds up to 150. It doesn't feel wobbly or uncertain. The tires support the vehicle really well. The chassis is beautifully laid out, and the chassis orientation is right on point, and so is the damping settings, because if the damping settings were a little too on the softer side, you will be left bouncing around all over the place at that kind of speeds. I mean, I love this i-VTEC 1.5 liter 4-cylinder petrol naturally aspirated engine. It's been a gem of an engine, tried and tested formula in the Honda City, and boy, giving the Elevate the same kind of powertrain and the same kind of juice, especially in the sport mode. Goodness gracious. It just makes you go bonkers and fall in love with this car. There you go. Ooh la la. That sound is to die for, man. Oh my goodness gracious. For the joy of cars, for the joy of car lovers, I mean, this thing is pure love, man. What an engine, what a sound, and what an engaging driving experience. I mean, yes, we miss a little bit of luxury, like maybe a panoramic sunroof, maybe ventilated seats, maybe not as good as Bose audio system, but then who cares when you can hear the inline 4 on an absolute score. The musical score of an inline 4 is unparalleled to any kind of music. For a typical petrol head, nothing else matters. It's all just flooring the pedal and let the engine sing the glorious song of the inline 4 coming alive. And yes, it's just that balance of refinement and sportiness and elegance and class and brilliant engineering all coming together in perfect harmony. And yes, this is what I expected. This is what I wanted from the Elevate, that it had something special deep down inside. So you can see these aircon vents and all, a little bit of flimsy build quality, not right up there with the best of the best. It's like give and take, because the dash, I mean the infotainment system is seamlessly laid out, but again a little bit of flimsy things overlooked upon, like the aircon vents are not up to the mark. The dash again has the wooden finish, it looks good, leather finish looks good, but again the hard plastics don't do justice for a car in this price point. But then again, who cares when you have such a brilliant engine on offer? You just forget about everything else. This thing is on another level when it comes to driving pleasure. Man, it just gives you a cargasm. Wow. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. That's the way to go. My goodness. My goodness. What a car and what an engine, man. I mean, you get your money's worth. That's all that matters. So, hats off. 10 on 10, maybe more than that for the engine itself. the way the power is delivered, the way the gearbox is tuned. It's a CVT, but in the sport mode it shifts late, it holds the gear up to 6500 rpm, and then you also have the paddle shifters. We're in the second mode. Does it hold the gear up to 7000 rpm in the manual mode? No. Shifts at 6500 rpm, but that's okay. That's okay. That's enough. That is more than enough to put this wide open smile on your face. Ooh la la. So only thing lacking, in my opinion, are the 2 disc brakes at the back. Yeah, please do offer that, Honda, because the kind of engine that you have offered makes you want to push this car to its limits, test its true potential. Every time you take the car out, you just don't want to go easy on the throttle. You just want to floor the pedal and make the engine come alive. You have a tried and tested powertrain. You have a wonderfully tuned engine, beautifully programmed gearbox. The gear shifts happen smoothly. It is not jerky, and at the same time, the suspension, the damping is well done. The chassis orientation is brilliant. I mean, it feels planted even at 150 plus kilometers per hour, and it feels sure-footed to go further. It doesn't feel uncertain, and it's very easy with the CVT gearbox. Maximum comfort, minimized effort, especially while stop and go traffic. Well, at the end of it all, what matters is a car that gives you a cargasm each time you take her out for a drive. I mean, at the end of it all, it has to drive really well, it has to handle really well, it has to give you that goosebumps each time you put the pedal to the metal or floor the gas pedal, and it does it all effortlessly. And as I told you, only one thing missing: 2 more disc brakes at the back. I'm sure we have an absolute steal deal for an enthusiast out there for the love of driving. Just never stop driving. That's what I can say. Cheers, and a big thumbs up from my side from the Honda for the Honda Elevate. It does elevate itself above the rest when it comes to sheer driving pleasure. Keep him coming, Honda.